Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Sadie and Rich. What we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Sadie's ability to understand and respond to her formal obedience commands. The correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction. And the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Sadie will come home with her very own training equipment, and you'll be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, she is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we would like to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on a leash, and the command is Sadie, heel.
Sadie, heel.
Now at this point, Sadie has a job to do, and that is to remain next to her trainer's left leg, not forging ahead or lagging behind. And each time that he stops his feet, you can see that she has been trained to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So this makes walking your dog enjoyable instead of a drag down the street. And she's right next to your left leg, and when you stop to cross traffic or talk to someone, she's sitting nicely waiting for her next command. And the next command that we're going to show you is the stay.
Stay.
The stay is a hand and a voice command, and in a firm voice it is a one-word command. You're going to practice lengthening out those stays to help to develop her self-control and maturity. When Rich returns back to her, he walks all the way around her, returning all the way back around to heel where they started, and he praises her at that point for a good job, and they take off heeling again. And remember, in the beginning, you're going to limit your praise to a little pat on the head and a little good girl. You don't want to amp her up or get her over the top. Nice automatic sits at the corners, crosswalks, when you're talking to someone on the street. And then Rich will leave her in another sit stay. And remember, you can practice these exercises indoors as well as outdoors, because her indoor manners is what's your biggest problem. This time, instead of returning all the way back around to Sadie, Rich is going to call her, and this is the recall command. It's Sadie, come, and she comes right in like a lady, and instead of jumping all over you, she sits nicely in front of you, facing your knees, and then she returns back to heel and back sitting. And Rich gives her a little scratch under the ears for praise. She has come such a long way, and she's doing such a good job. And Rich is going to demonstrate that come on command again.
Stay.
Rich leaves her in a sit stay, walks out to the end of the training leash. She sits there nicely until she's called, and then she comes in with a lot of self-control and sits right in front of him, and then goes back. And if she doesn't sit, that's the little correction. It's no, and the little tug on your training collar. Now this time, Rich is setting up to show you Sadie's down commands. And there are two. The first one starts out with the dog seated at your left, left open palm, straight down toward the ground, and the one-word command to down. Now you saw that she started to give him a bit of a problem about that, but he persisted, used his training equipment, told her no, down, and she laid down. And you can practice this again right indoors. When he returns back to her, he walks all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay, returning all the way back to heel position again. Remember, everything starts and stops at heel position. And with her, everything is about self-control, being able to hold her commands.
Down.
Now that time she did it on the first command, so you can see that you have to persist with her. You can't let her get away with not doing the command. Once you say it, she has to do it. This time Rich will call her out of this command.
Sadie, come.
Good job.
Sadie, heel.
And then she goes back to heel and back sitting.
Good. Sadie, heel.
Rich is giving her some loving, letting her know she's doing a good job so she stays motivated to continue to work. And this is a commitment for our doggy parents and families as well, that you continue to work with her at home. Keep us posted on how she's doing. Now this time Rich is going to leave her in a sit-stay.
Stay.
He's going to walk out and face her.
Down.
And then he gives her the down command from a distance, and that was perfectly done. Now we have demonstrated for you her healing, her automatic sits, her stays, her down from a distance, and her come. These are the exercises that you're going to be practicing with Sadie at home, and we're going to be explaining to you how to use these commands in your everyday living situations with her. She has come such a long way, and she has turned into such a nice young lady. She's going to spend the rest of the day getting her spa treatment, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.